Hey guys, I'm Jennifer Priest and I want to take you on a tour of my craft room. Come on, let's go inside. Now, I have been crafting forever and I got my first real craft room way back when I was in an apartment and I took over our dining room. And this was, I want to say like 2005 is when that happened. And it was such a big deal to me to actually have a space. I had like a table and these cubes and all those things. And so over the years, as we've moved, as crafting kind of took over and I had like a more thriving Etsy shop and I sold at craft fairs, my room has changed and gotten all different kinds of sizes. So my room actually right now is probably the biggest that it has ever been, which means that it took over my formal living room, my formal dining room, which is over there, and an office, which is right across from me. So when you come in my house, this is actually what you see when you walk in the door. And I get a lot of interesting reactions from like the Terminix guy, he gets like a real kick out of it. The UPS guy, if I catch them when they're like actually at the door, I get some interesting reactions from people if they actually kind of like try to peek and look inside. That said, with this being the largest craft room that I have ever had, I have the least amount of craft stuff than I have had probably since way back when in 2006 when I first got like that first craft space. And so what I've done is over the years I have really purged, I've kind of pulled everything down to like what am I actually using. There have been a few times, like just a couple weeks ago, a few times when people have been like, oh, do you have this? And I'm like, oh, I don't have that anymore, I got rid of it. So what I've done now is I've really pared down to what I'm trying to use more and then the things that I absolutely love. And so it's a little bit of KonMari where you can kind of hold the stuff up and be like, does this spark joy? And you know, with crafters, we're like, everything sparks joy. But really kind of thinking about like, am I gonna use this product? Am I gonna use this supply? How long ago did I buy it? What do I feel when I pick it up? Do I feel bad, feel dread, feel guilt, feel like kicking myself like, oh, I should have made that so long ago? If I feel those bad feelings, I'm like, that's gotta go. So I donate it and I give it either to schools, art centers, those kinds of things, or I'll sell it. I'll just put it all into like a mystery box and sell it. And so if you're in that place where you're like purging your craft supplies and you need some ideas of ways to kind of get rid of them or give them a new home of someone that's gonna enjoy it, right? Don't just Goodwill it, don't just put it in the trash. Like give it to someone that will enjoy it. I have a blog post, 17 places where you can get rid of your craft stash. And I'll link that down in the description here of this video. Now, a quick note before we get started. This video is sponsored in part by my friends at ArtBin. And so I'm super excited to be working with them. I have been a huge ArtBin user and fan long before I ever met anyone from the company. So if you're an ArtBin fan, make sure that you leave me a comment letting me know which ArtBin products you use and what are your favorites, because I would love to see more ideas of ways that people are using ArtBins in unexpected ways and to help boost your creativity, right? All the tools that we have in our craft spaces are supposed to be helping us be creative. They're supposed to support us in that way. And that's why I love ArtBins, because they're so thoughtfully made and they have been an integral part of me being able to do my crafts all these 30 some years that I've been doing crafts. All right, let's get started with the tour. So when you enter my house, this is what used to be my formal living and formal dining room, and now it is my craft room. So if you can kind of look, I'll pan across the room a little bit here so you can try to see. And then across the room we have a desk. So I'm gonna go look at each area close up so that you can see what's there. Here's my cat, he's always doing something bad. So this is my Raskog cart and it has all of my crafty goodies on it. So I have these cups on the side that have a bunch of glue sticks, glue guns, heat guns, etc. in them. And then I also have like a bunch of extra stuff on the bottom. So the things I use the least I put on the bottom. I've got some cleaning wipes and gloves there, as well as some glue guns or glue gun sticks and some gesso. On the second shelf, I have a bunch of glue and decoupage medium that I reach for pretty regularly. And then on the top, I filled it with all these different cups that have scissors, brushes, and different tools in them. And then on the side, I don't know if you guys can see this, here on the side, there are all of these different like grid menus or grid rulers and different things like that. So let's start with my Raskog cart. I'm gonna start from the bottom here. So on the side I have these cups and they're filled with some things that I use the least are on the bottom. Kind of generally the way the cart's set up is things I use the least are on the bottom and the things I use the most are on the top. So down here on the bottom I have extra glue gun sticks, like a big old tub of gesso, some cleaning supplies, some gloves for painting, etc. hung here on the side, and then some extra glue guns and foam paintbrushes. The next level up I have some more glue guns. These are a little bit smaller, more easy control type glue guns, and then a couple heat guns, and then all my glue sticks up here on the top for easy access. Now on the very top shelf I have scissors and tools. I've got some grid rulers up here, as well as paintbrushes, some hot glue mats, different types of scissors, and then some just general tools like rulers, and then some of these like tweezers and pokey tools that are down in this cup. So what I did is my top shelf of my Raskog, I just put some of those metal IKEA plant pots in there, and that is what's holding all of that. I also have some of these S hooks that I got from IKEA that have different tools hung on the side. So this is a bow maker and a little dustpan. In the middle I have different glues, decoupage medium, etc. So it's easy for me to grab. Now next up I have these cubes from ArtBin. These are awesome because they stack and you can put them on casters. So you can see the bottom one is on casters so it can roll, but the second one is stacked. And so all my ArtBins can slide into there. You can put any different size ArtBin into this as long as it's the satchel size shape. You can put those in there. So it's a nice way to kind of organize my stuff and keep it super handy. Next to that I have my IKEA Alex drawer units. Now I've customized these with some decals from my wonderful walls because I didn't want them to look the same plain that they were. Plus over the years, one of the drawers has gotten a little yellow, another one has some scuff marks. And so after a while, like plain white furniture just doesn't look white anymore. So this is a great way to make it look crisp and clean and beautiful. On top of my IKEA drawers are these jars of flowers. These jars are really old and they're from IKEA, so I've got some flowers and buttons in there, but it's kind of a nice way to organize all these things and it looks pretty as a rainbow. Now we created this massive wood backdrop here because it is storage, but also a fun inspiration place. So this is where I take pictures and stuff and just kind of a nice place for me to be for my craft area. Now you may not want to build like this plywood faux wall, but I'm going to show you something really cool on the back side of it. And so it's attached to the wall and it goes all the way up. Now across the top are these light fixtures and these turn on so that when I am filming or I need to take a picture of myself or something in front of this wall, I can just turn those on and get some extra light. Now the secret to this back area here is that I wanted some extra storage. So if you can see, I have a bunch of backdrops back there. I've got extra letterboards up there on this side. So my husband made like a shelf right in the middle so that I can stack things up. And so it's just really handy for storing all these large items like grid mats and things like that that just are really hard to store. This gives me a hidden place to store them. Now over here on the other side, I have all kinds of photography equipment, tripods, screens and diffusers and stuff in here. And then a sheet of stickers that goes to this calendar I have up here on the wall. And then up here I have rolls of paper and wrapping paper that I use as backdrops. And so it's a great way for me to store all that stuff. It doesn't look messy. It's not in the way. My husband rigged this little switch down here for me to turn the lights on when I need that extra light on my back area. Okay, so let's talk about my work table. You can see my kitty, he's under there. So this is an IKEA kitchen island, and what we did is stained the top darker because it had started to look really bad. And then we have a trash can underneath it, and I've got a couple power strips hooked on there as well. So you can see I have power strips over there as well. And then this handy holder here for a tablet, which is what I use to look at my videos while I'm filming. So I'll have my camera up on this boom arm. Kind of can't see it because there's that light there, but it's a boom arm. Okay, you can see it from this angle. So I've got a boom arm that my camera sits on and looks down onto the table. And then I have this tablet stand that I use as a monitor to see what's up on the screen, because when the camera's up here, I can't see what's in it. Now I have different backdrops that I put onto the table. So right now I've got a white melamine backdrop on top of my black super matte chalk backdrop, and then when I want to change them out, I just come over here to the big wood backdrop and pull one of the ones that I have out here out. So I have blue ones, red ones, different ones that we've painted. Now on this side over here, I have a old dresser, and this is actually underneath my dining room window. And I have some vinyl backdrops there that I use for photos. My cats are always jumping up there and they're always shredding those curtains. Every like year or two I have to buy new curtains. But this gives me some great light. I take a lot of my food photos over here for my blog. Next, I have this farmhouse table that we did with chalk paint. And it's just a staging area where I can put extra stuff. I have this little IKEA table wedged between the IKEA kitchen island and the farmhouse table, and I have a light on it, but I also use that to stage items when I'm filming so that I can just pile them all there and they're easily within reach while I'm filming a video. Now over here I have my die cut center, and this is another IKEA furniture item. So I have a big trimmer up on top, the smaller Big Shot, and then the larger Big Shot machine right on top of the table. And the reason that I like doing this is because if it's out, I can easily use it. If I have to pull this out and dust it off and find the dies, I'm just never gonna use it. So the tools that you wanna use the most, and this is a tip, the tools you wanna use the most, make sure that you put them out on your tabletop so that they are easy to use. And so you're gonna have to prioritize because you can't put everything on your table at all times. So like these I wanna use more often, but my sewing machines are in a place that's a little harder to get to because I only sew a couple times a year, whereas I want to be die cutting at least a couple times a month. Now down below the machines are drawers filled with all kinds of supplies. We'll go look in those in a second. And then I have another art bin. This one's filled with card supplies. I absolutely love art bins. This is one of the satchels that's kind of the half size, and it has dividers in it. My trimmers, and then these wood boxes I got from Target. And they fit my Sizzix dies perfectly. Now, I have some other brands of dies in there too. You can see there's some really old Quick Cuts dies in there, etc. Underneath that, I have this little box with some photos in it and this metal tray that I use to put things that are in progress, and then even more art bins. So all my jewelry art bins are on the top, and then underneath are some more paper crafting art bins. Art bins are my absolute favorite because they stack, they have a lip around the edge that helps keep everything together, and they have those really awesome clips that help keep the lids shut. I have never had an art bin lid come open on me, like ever. All right, so let's go take a look inside these drawers. So this first drawer is all sewing supplies. So it's like the instructions for my sewing machine. I don't know what machine this pedal goes to, but it goes to one, my grandma's needle book, or my great grandma's needle book actually. And then this one is all embossing folders and embossing plates, as well as chipboard, and then some dryer sheets, which are one of the things that is handy when you're doing die cuts, especially of little intricate small pieces. And then this drawer, I believe, has dies. Yeah, so this drawer has, I don't want to pull it out too far, it has a lot of the pads that you need for die cutting, as well as this art bin for storing the magnetic style dies. Now moving on, this is down below my IKEA kitchen island. I have storage for my sewing machine. So I've got my serger, and then right next to that is my baby lock. And then I have all of my Easy Press 2 machines from Cricut. And so I have those in 3 different sizes, and I just store them right there for easy access when I'm working on my table. And then I have a couple empty art bins. These with the frosted plastic look really nice, and I love them for when I'm on the go. So I want to just throw, a bunch of little supplies into an art bin, but I don't need like the big super satchel for that. I can just toss them in one of these and then take it with me to the crop or the scrapbook weekend or whatever. And then I have a priority mailbox down here because I make layouts for Crops of Love. And I'll put a link for Crops of Love down in the description of this video so you can go and check it out. They're a charity that makes scrapbooks for kids that have like terminal illnesses or who are in the hospital. And so it's a really great keepsake for the family, but they need donations. And so I'll make extra pages, or I'll put like extra supplies into the box until I fill it up, and then I'll go ahead and ship it off. So if you're a scrapbooker, definitely check out Crops of Love because they could definitely use your donations. They have a list of donations that they're looking for on their site. So make sure that you go and check that out before you. So let's take a quick look at what's on my shelves up here. I have this thread holder from ArtBin, and what I love about it is that not only does it stand up, but you can put it inside of an ArtBin if you're on the go. So let's say you're going to a quilting weekend or something like that, you could store your thread there. I have a bunch of pin cushions and then this fun art that I got from my friend Crafty Chica. And then underneath that, I have my Wubbers pliers, which are some of my favorite pliers that my friend Jen Cushman gifted to me. And just some fun little crafty stuff. This crafty crap box from Blue Q, some vintage buttons, my Stitch little figurine that I got from Disney, some baker's twine, this fun Papel Picado from Target, Dollar Spot, actually lights up. And then these like really pretty Martha Stewart paints in rainbow by Plaid Crafts, as well as this paint holder full of plaid paint. And this is also from ArtBin, so it will fit into one of their satchels as well. Some cute little stuff I made. This is my first project I made with a Cricut Maker. I cut this cactus out of felt and stiffened it up with Mod Podge Ultra. And then this is a really cool display that I got at a store called Collective Journey that's no longer open, unfortunately. And I've seen these in different shows and stuff too. I think Joanna Gaines from Fixer Upper has used this in one of her houses before, but I got it before Fixer Upper was even a show. They've had it for like ever. And I just put all kinds of fun inspiration and things that I've gotten from people or that I've collected over the years. So it's a nice place for me just to go and kind of look and check out. Now let's look and see what's inside of my Alex drawers. So all my drawers are in rainbow order. So this is the first drawer on the top. This is everything that is white. So I've got these dot boxes from Cottage Mills. That's where I organize a lot of the small embellishments. Little dividers from IKEA. These little cups from IKEA are some of my favorites. And then different dividers I've bought over the years with different supplies in them. I try to keep the ink pads at the front so that they're easy for me to grab. Everything orange and yellow. So I actually tend to use a lot of orange and yellow, but I don't have that much of it in my stash, and that's probably because I tend to use it up pretty quickly. But I do have an orange and yellow dot box. So one just full of orange and one just full of yellow. And then I have the supplies that I use the least towards the back. So like re-inkers, glitter, don't tend to use glitter as much anymore, but ink pads and these little baubles and stuff are up toward the front. The next drawer down is red, and I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff over the years, you guys. So some of these drawers might look a little bit bare, but that's because I've really been trying to be good about, I haven't used it in 10 years, it's gotta go. So I have some of my multicolor color box ink pads in this drawer because they just fit in here better. And as long as it had at least one section of red, I was like, okay, it'll fit in there. Sometimes I forget what drawer I put that stuff in, but that's okay. So I'll just open them and look for it. I have pink and purple together, and this is a little bit deeper drawer. So on these units, the 3 drawers on the bottom are a little deeper, and the 3 on the top are a little bit more shallow. So I have the supplies that I have the most of are in these deeper drawers. Below that is blue, and so I've got all my washi, little ink pads, sequins, and different embellishments here as well. And sometimes you can see these kind of shift a little bit in the drawers. I'll just go in there and tidy it up a little bit when I'm going to get a embellishment or maybe an ink pad or something like that from this drawer. And finally we have green. So I have a lot of green embellishments. I actually have 2 dot boxes full of green embellishments. So this is a color I'm trying to use some stuff up for, but it's kind of fun to see the drawers rainbow order. Now what about black? Well, I have a whole drawer just with black and silver. So I have a lot of black ink pads, a lot of black glitter, buttons, etc. And then one whole drawer just for everything brown or wood tones. So here I have all kinds of wood things and gold. Anything brown, gold, or wood goes into this drawer. Now the next drawer down is a little bit empty, so I have some color catchers in there. These are like a fold-up spray booth that you can use with like spray inks and messy stuff. And the reason these drawers are kind of empty is because I just got another Alex cart that I'm using for my Cricut stuff. So here I have stencils, the gel press, different mod melts molds for making like little embellishments out of hot glue, and then a bunch of different stencil items like transfer paper, stencil adhesive, a speedball roller. And then below that, I have my punches. And these punches are really heavy. They like to kind of push the bottom of the drawer out. I don't know that I totally recommend using these drawers for punches, but I like that I can kind of pull it out and see everything all at once. So this is one drawer of punches, and then the next drawer down is like all of the Martha and Fisker's punches in the one drawer. Now, I don't use these as often as I would like to, so that's why they're kind of on the bottom. It's not something that I use that often. So typically if I'm gonna make a bunch of something like a bunch of Christmas cards or something like that, I will pull these out, but I've really pared this down over the years. I used to have an entire Alex drawer unit. Like imagine all these drawers full of punches. That's how many I used to have. But so I feel like I'm doing good. I got it down from 6 to 2. Now here on the floor, I have some really big jars. This one has a bunch of white buttons in it, and next to that is a little jar with some rocks, which I use for different projects, and then this jar full of rocks for painting and glass marbles and things like that for those different kinds of like dollar store type craft projects. So now I'm going to turn around and let's go inside my office. So if you guys have seen my videos before, you might notice I didn't have these doors before. We put in these French doors. This used to just be open. It used to be open way up almost at the top. Put these 2 French doors in, and so now I can close them when I'm working, etc. I can close them if we have guests, and it's just really nice. And then this used to have this big opening in the middle that looked like a window. I'm gonna show you the other side because we actually made it kind of like a cutout, and we're gonna put some shelves in there. So let's go ahead and go inside. So here's the view through my, you can hear the sound is different in here too. Here's a view through my doors. There's my cat over there. So here you can see that cutout. This used to be a window on the back. You can see this cutout on the back that used to be a window. We just put some drywall back there, and now we're gonna be using it for like a shelf or something. But right now it's just got my Cricut Explore Air on there. I also have this little table. I bought this so long ago from Pete's Finish Land in San Bernardino, and I actually finished it myself. It's alder wood, and I finished it with not marine spar varnish, but there was another type of varnish. But oh my gosh, that was a lot of work. So I like having it in here because it's something that I actually did myself, and I use it to charge my laptops and hold like extra cords and Cricut accessories, extra mouses in the drawers, etc. Now below that is a tote that my grandma made with straw flowers on it, and I use that to hold all the cords. And then I have my paper shredder. It's just handy to have it here in my office. I have this really fun hook here next to my doors on this pillar that has all my badges from conferences, my aprons, cute little bags and stuff like that. Now next to that is this oil painting that my grandma did of my mom. And so it's one of the only things that my grandma made that I have still, so I have that here, and she inspired me a lot with my crafts. Then I have my work table. So I'm gonna come over here so you guys can get a close-up of the work table. So this door, again, if you've been on a craft room tour of mine, this door's new. And this is actually a closet. So it's a double deep closet that goes from the hallway here, and it's really supposed to be a closet for this room. So I wanted to make this a 4th bedroom, and we put the closet door in there. Even though I'm not using it right now, I have it blocked so that when we do decide to go sell our house, there's got a 4th bedroom. So here I've got this really cute little shelf. I also got this at Collective Journey, but it was olive green, and I spray painted it white, and I store my stamps, little odds and ends, like this sketchbook. Like if you guys are scrapbooking, you know, we have sketches like for scrapbooking. I still have some. And then my glue. Down here on the bottom, I have stamps in a jar, and then all of my letterboard letters in all these cute little mason jars. It's actually a great way to organize and keep them separated. This little basket is full of paper tags, which I don't use that often, but I love the basket because I remember I bought it during one of the summers that I went to spend with my grandma out in Colorado. We would go out there and camp in the summer, and we took a basket weaving class, and this was made by a local artist who was a basket weaver, but he was blind. And so I always just keep this kind of as a reminder of that time, but it also makes me think about, like, you know, what a gift that we have to have creativity and be able to see and that kind of thing. So it's just kind of a nice reminder. Next to that, I have my ArtBin vinyl storage, and it's in front of my light switch because I don't like the light switch here, so I'm trying to cover it up. But I have all of my Cricut vinyl, or some of it, in this, and these actually can bolt to the wall. They fold up flat, so it's not the IKEA bag holder that everybody else has. This is actually made for vinyl, and so it sits a lot closer to the wall than that IKEA bag holder does. So if I have more vinyl, eventually I think I'm gonna like mount these up the wall here. Next, I have my tool bag. I have a whole post all about how to pack your tool bag, and so I'll link to that down in the description. And it's held on with a purse hook. And so these are for like when you go to a restaurant to keep your purse off the floor, but you can totally use it for your scrapbook bags. And my friend Elena from Charity Wings is the one that first told me about them. And I actually got this purse hook from Elena. She used to sell them. Now I have the makings of a project right here on my table because, you know, it is a working craft room. So it's not like I ever have it totally clean without a project. So you get to see a project. I'll be sharing how to make this project on my blog in the next couple months. I also have this really cool tool from ArtBin called the sketchboard. And what you can do is, it doesn't have anything in it right now because I just unpacked from a crop. So here's how it works. You open the side and it opens up, and you've got a section where you can put your markers, and that flips. And then you also have a clipboard on the inside for projects you're working on. So you can have your markers in there, and then you can close the lid and they stay put. And you also have the clip on the front. So like if you're sketching, drawing, you know, stamping and coloring, this is just so handy, and then you can kind of close it all up. So especially good for in front of the TV. I'm a huge ArtBin fan, so it shouldn't surprise you that I have another ArtBin. This is their quilt strip bin, and this one is actually full of embellishments. So if I open it up, I have little dividers in there, and I have all my really small embellishments for scrapbooking and card making and that kind of thing. Next to that, I have these cute little Pyrex dishes. I got them in Toronto a couple years ago when I went there at a flea market. And I have my date stamps and then some other stamps and a roll of glue dots in there. Next up is this IKEA Calyx shelf, previously Expedite. This one, I don't know if it's Calyx or Expedite. It's one of the two, but these are those divided cube shelves. I used to have a bunch of them, but now I just have this one in my room, and I've got my paper in here in rainbow order. And then I have different bins with different supplies. So these are projects that are currently underway. This bin is full of fabric. These are full of felt, that's wool felt. And then this is Kunin Eco-Fi recycled plastic felt. And then just other scraps of paper, 12 by 12 paper, and some other random things there. But I like to keep it small. And if you guys can imagine, each of these is about 15 or 16 inches of paper. I used to have 96 inches of paper. And so I've pared it down over the years to this, whether using it up, but mostly giving it away, or selling it, because it was just too much. Like if you think an inch of paper is about 100 sheets, how often are you going to use that in your lifetime? Next, I have my Cricut Maker up here on my desk plugged in behind my monitors so that I can use it really easily, and I can use it with my laptop or my phone with Bluetooth or plugged in the computer. Now here are my Hobby Lobby faux card catalog cabinets, and I totally love these because you can fit so much stuff into them. Now these are about 130 bucks at Hobby Lobby. They get a couple of them in every summer at each store. I've seen them for years and years and years, even though mine are about 7 years old. Let me show you a little peek inside of some of what's in here. So like this drawer is all colored pencils. Let's see. This one's watercolors and pan pastels that are kind of underneath there. And I just have tons of different things. These are all precious metal findings. So these are all rose gold findings from Cousin Beads. And then up here I have stuff that just doesn't fit anywhere else. So I got this really fun mug that my friend Crafty Chica made that has glass spray bottles in it. My Copic markers, I don't use those too often. A bunch of different mugs. This is my fabulous paint wall. So I have all these shelves from IKEA. Let me see if I can get back a little bit further to kind of show you the whole glory of this thing. All these are frame shelves. They used to be called Ribba, R-I-B-B-A, but the new one's called Mosslanda. That's what it's called. So these are IKEA frame shelves. I have all my paint on them in rainbow order, and I tried to keep like paints kind of in the same row, but sometimes that didn't always happen. And then as I got higher up, I have like different kinds of specialty finishes here, like varnishes, waxes, those kinds of things, glow in the dark. And then here I have like some stamps and stamping blocks. You heat those up and press things in them to make stamps, and then rubber stamps. And then some art from my kids that they made, some paint, less used stuff on the top. So kind of the way that this flows is the most used stuff is on the bottom because I'm short, and then this stuff, probably anything these shelves and up, I need a step stool to get. So these are my least used things. Now you might have noticed this kind of funky thing here in the middle. This is an Archon mount. It's for holding your tablet, and then on the end of it over here you put your phone and do like Facebook Live videos with your phone, so overhead videos. So I have that there so that it's handy. Moving over to the left, I have an IKEA bookshelf. There's some boxes there. These have other jewelry findings. This box is full of tags, which I don't use tags like ever, so I need to figure out what I'm doing with that. This is for projects. This shelf is for like projects that are in progress or that I want to make soon. And I also have this bin of silverware and things for my food photography for my blog. And then I have a bunch of different cake plates and things for my food photos and staging. And then I have even more stuff up here for staging and stuff. So you guys might remember that my old blog was called Hydrangea Hippo, and this YouTube channel actually used to be called Hydrangea Hippo. And so I have this sign that's from a long, long time ago when I did a craft fair booth. Then I've got like an embroidered like birth notice from my mom and some other stuff, just, you know, memories and things like that. Now across the way I have my thread. These are two different June Taylor thread holders that I got from Joann's, and I bolted them to the wall. Now this isn't the most handy place for my thread. I have to get up there with some tongs and a footstool to try to get them, but like I said, I only sew a couple times a year. And then I have some Helen Dardick prints over here on the side, my grandma's old sewing box, and, you know, just some memorabilia and things. And then I have these two shelves from Lamps Plus with glass doors on them. So let's go look and see what's inside. Now this drawer is a little embarrassing. I hope it's gonna close. I have bead stuff and things for making soap in here, and it's a little full. I'm gonna make a bunch of soap at Christmas, so I'm like, okay, I know this is gonna have less stuff in it, so I'm kind of okay with it being full right now, but yeah, it's a little embarrassing how full this actually is. Now opening these doors up, I have boxes of photos down here with cards. This one's empty. I have a lot of empty boxes right now because I'm moving stuff. I had some overflow in the garage. I'm moving that overflow into here, so I'm getting rid of things to make room. So all these boxes that say ribbon, they no longer hold ribbon. They're all empty, and I just need to make new labels for them. This is a craft mate that is holding a bunch of different beads and things. Let me pull that out so you guys can see. So it's full of like pill boxes that are divided and have different stuff inside. So I have a lot of jewelry stuff. I don't know if you guys know this, but I got my start making jewelry when I was a kid, and I did my first craft fair selling jewelry when I was like 9. Okay, so here's where my ribbon is now. I have these really fun baskets. I don't know if you can see the basket because there's a bunch of stuff in front of it, but these really fun like baskets from Hobby Lobby. And so I have those full of my ribbon in rainbow colors, and then I have some overflow here. I have these are actually all detergent, like the little pod things. It's the holder for those. You buy it from you buy it in the store in those holders. So I have it full of white and then black ribbon, and then up here I have the brown ribbon. So moving up, I've got my ribbon, then I have thread, cone thread for the serger, and then some regular thread that's just extra on the next shelf, and then all of the neutral cone threads up here. And if the cone thread looks dirty, it is. My grandma passed it on to me, and it got kind of trashed. She was sick in the later years, and my other family members did not take care of stuff. So eventually I will try to I'll pull the string off, or I don't know what, but I'm just leaving it the way it is for now. And then I have these extra straws for like food photography stuff. All right, so in this cabinet, I have all my Xyron adhesive here. Next, I have a bunch of boxes. These are mostly empty, and I'm gonna be using them for some storage. And then I have books and sketch pads and paper. And then I have all of my acrylic stamps organized here, as well as this one set of these giant Heidi Swapp foam stamps. If you guys are like old school, then you know what these are. I have one set that I kept that I just love. Next up, I have another one of those really awesome baskets with crepe paper in it. All of my yarn is up here in rainbow order as well. I have this cute little cactus ornament that my friend Crafty Chica made that I hang there. It's just super cute. And then this drawer admittedly is a little embarrassing as well. I have extra Xyron adhesive, more adhesive, a couple We Are albums, which I don't know why they're in there. And then this is just kind of falling over because I've really been burning through my adhesive supply as I've been going to all these scrapbook events. And I'm down to the wire. Like my ATG is empty. I had to actually go to the store and buy adhesive for the first time in years because I've been really burning this down. But it's good. It feels good that even though it's messy, it feels good that I'm using things up. I hope that you enjoyed the tour and that you got some really cool ideas for your craft space. I'd love to know what you thought of it, what your favorite part was. Is there something where you got an idea and were inspired to organize something in a different way in your creative space? Let me know down in the comment section. If you're watching this on YouTube, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time I have another smart, fun DIY idea to share with you.